there was talk about the ATF being involved in this incident and being potentially an agent on the roof that day, the quote gray suit individual. Can you talk about crime gun intelligence and how ATF anytime, and this I can speak to this from my experience at DEA, anytime there's a gun used in a crime, we rely on ATF to trace that gun and how that system works?
Sure. Well, that's actually easy. First, I can tell you the ATF agent in the gray suit is a fallacy. There was no ATF agent in a gray suit. In fact, I don't know that I've ever seen an ATF agent in a suit other than in a witness box when I testified in front of Congress, or if they're stuck in headquarters. Even when I was a special agent in charge in Miami, I almost never wore a suit unless I had to go to a meeting at the U.S. Attorney's Office. But what happens is when a serial number of a gun is obtained, that firearm can be traced. And what that entails is, believe it or not, calling ATF's tracing center in Martinsburg, West Virginia, giving them the information about the gun, and then a series of phone calls happens. So what happens is they'll call the manufacturer, which in this case was DPMS, which is the manufacturer of the AR platform rifle that was used, and ask, hey, this gun was recovered. Can you tell us, when did you make it? Who did you send it to? So then they'll say, I sent it to Bill Bodner's gun shop, on a date, whenever that date was. So then they'll call Bill Bodner. Hey, Bill, can you tell us when you received this gun? Can you check your acquisition disposition book and then let us know who you sold it to? And, can you send us a copy of the form? And they do. Generally, the dealers, like I've said many, many times, are always incredibly cooperative. But it's a series of phone calls. Now, what I do know, and again, the little inside baseball is the shooter did not have identification on him. My understanding was they hadn't found it at that point. So the trace of the gun, which did happen, but not by a guy in a gray suit, did occur. It led them to the shooter's father, who lawfully purchased that firearm. He had it in his possession for some time. And it was at that point, they also had apparently an image of the deceased. They were able to put the puzzle pieces together and figure out that the gun was purchased by this guy's father. And that's how they identified him, was by putting those puzzle pieces together. The other thing I heard was that the father called local law enforcement at least an hour before this happened, saying, hey, my son is missing and so is my weapon. Which again is another huge question that you have to figure out. Hey, you knew there was a weapon missing in that area. I mean, there's just so much there. But yes, an ATF agent did trace the gun. But the whole thing about the ATF agent in the gray suit that's a mystery. I don't know who it was. Could have been somebody posing as an ATF agent. Could have been somebody else. My understanding is it was not an ATF agent in the gray suit on the roof or near the roof.
Okay.